Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Loan Officer Breakfast Club. I'm feeling a little more chipper today than yesterday. I was very tired yesterday, but not today. I'm ready to get started right about Jen.
Now.
Wonderful. Excellent work. Great job. Glad to see everybody here. Eddie Skinner is in the house. Man, hadn't seen you in a minute, brother. I hope you're doing well, man. You doing good? Everything all right? Yeah? Yeah. You know what? I just feel like I need to hear from Eddie Skinner. Eddie, you know, as soon as the epic music abides, you know, just want to hear like, what's new? How's the winning going, man? Got a recent win or two you could share with us? Something that was like, man, that was really cool. You always
going great. You know, my wife got her real estate license like yours, and so we've got 3 or 4 right now that we're working on together, which is always great. Some of those are triple hitters, so she's getting to sell, buy, and we're doing the financing. So that's a good anchor always, and having 2 or 3 of those going at the same time is great. So just really blessed, thankful for you guys. The Call Star Blitz a couple of weeks ago, say this to Jen kind of publicly, Call Star Blitz convicted me that, man, I got to get back in the game 2 hours a day. And so recommit to Call Stars. And so just listening to everybody is very contagious. Rudy and all the other folks, I think, man, these guys are just consistently plugging. And I inconsistently plug. So
Eddie, we're going to be looking for you every day on there now, mister.
All right. Every day but Tuesday. I got a prior commitment on Tuesdays.
So. All right.
So I'm curious about your wife getting into the real estate side. Is she doing it full time? Did she just take the plunge, or was she,
so the year
how did it all work out financially to be able to do that? You know,
the year before she got her license, I gave away about $150,000 worth of commissions to realtors. And I told when the market dipped and all of our production kind of dipped a little bit, I told her, I said, man, it'd be helpful to give that to you instead of all these, realtors say they're committed, but they often are not committed to you. And so started doing it with her. And, I've lived in the area for 40 years. And so I got a ton of relationships that just come without realtors. And so she started doing it. And she's a former teacher. Former teachers make fantastic realtors because they just follow the rules and do the stuff the way they're supposed to do it. And so she's turned. I've watched her confidence grow and just been really good watching her. And now she tells me what to do. We do loan consultations and she'll jump in and start telling me what to do on the loan. I'm like, whoa, stay in your lane. Am I right? Yeah, you're right, but that's my part. That's not your part. So we have a good time. So
wow. Well, that's super cool, man. Congrats, man. And best to you and the wife and the endeavor. That's really neat.
She's a rock star. So she's always done my marketing. When she retired from teaching, she did my marketing for the mortgage stuff. And so she knows how to market and do stuff like that. I tell my clients and agents and friends, hey, if there's a good one out there that was posted, it was her. If it's stupid and dorky and kind of just strange, it's probably something I posted. So
well, interesting. Maybe you don't have this issue, but with my wife doing real estate, and I found myself all the time, and I know I was driving her crazy, but when she'd be having conversations with people, like I'm eavesdropping and like saying things, don't that's she's having a conversation, she's getting distracted by me going just that and the other thing, she was really displeased with that. I'll just say that, right? Very, very displeased with that. But I really, I had to let just like at one point, just go, you know what? That's her gig, man. And absolutely, that's not my gig. And so I'm just going to let her do her gig. And so it was hard for me to pull back from injecting my thoughts and opinions, which are very good thoughts and opinions, I might add. Yes. Right? But I had to hold back from that. And then when finally I got used to like not being involved, now it's very liberating for me.
She and I do that to each other all the time. And we've got the phrase, hey, stay in your lane, and then occasionally she'll come to me and go, hey, what should I tell these guys? And I say, okay, do you want me to listen as a husband, or do you want me to offer advice as a coach? You know, which
Yeah.
one are you asking for? And I'm telling you, for a couple of days ago, I think we were doing the marriage counseling deal and stuff like that. And I thought, man, so much. My wife and I are involved with the marriage ministry, and so it's a pre-marriage, and so it's all these young couples, and that's been one of the best farming deals for us. We've got one couple closing next week. We closed one last November, December. We got three more that are fixing to start looking. And so it's like, hey, doing a ministry, not asking for business, but they find out what we do. And so she gets to do the real estate. I do the mortgage. And so, you know, I think
and who better to help them? You know what I mean? Seriously,
God
right?
honors,
you know?
God honors you trying not to be selfish and doing something else. And all of a sudden you get some business. So it's a great, and we really enjoy it. And we just kind of walk through that journey with them. So it's a good
Very
deal.
cool. Wow. What a great inspirational story. Hey, I'm curious in the chat, are you guys in, what do we call this? We've got one spouse doing loans, one spouse doing real estate. What should we call that? I don't know. There needs to be a cool word for that or whatever. But if you've got that kind of a relationship in the chat, I'm curious, like if you are in loans and your spouse is in real estate.
If you're sleeping with your referral partner, there needs to be a word for that.
There needs to be a word for that.
I use that often. I'll say, hey, I'm sleeping with my favorite agent. And they'll look at me like, it's my wife. It's my wife. Hey, just one other quick deal. And I know you got other people to talk to, but my son is my loan partner. Well, he got his Goosehead license for home and auto insurance in December. And so now we're able to offer.
The insurance too.
He does insurance. That's totally not my gig. I don't get any money off of it, anything. It's his. You know, he's 29, so he's kind of building for the future with the book of business. My oldest son does landscaping. He started building pools. And so anything outside in the house, you know, so we refer each other all the time. We got four of us in housing business and just refer. And they're like, man, you guys got everything covered. I said, hey, if you got anything to do with house, call me. We know somebody, you know.
Yeah.
So,
you just got to grow more people. You need your kids to make more people so that you can, you know, fill other slots within the industry, you know.
Yeah. Hey, and
have it all
the last thing, I know Carl would be excited about this. So our one granddaughter turns 1 March 8th. And then we found out about 2 weeks ago that daughter is expecting another one in October. And our oldest son is expecting a boy in August. And so we're going from 1 to 3 this year, which is exciting for us. We thought it never happened. Now they're starting to pop out like rabbits. So.
There you go. Yeah. Building up the sales force, man.
That's
outstanding.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Start grooming them early.
Yeah.
You know, this is an escrow officer.
This
is an appraiser.
This is what we do in this family.
My daughter asked if she could be a processor, and I told her no. I said, absolutely not. I would not do that to you. I love you. You're not going to be a processor. Well, why, Dad? I said, man, that's like the worst job ever.
It's a grind.
Yeah.
It's a grind. Yeah, that's for sure. All right. Well, good stuff. Hey, great talking to you, Eddie. Man, always a pleasure, man. Always a pleasure. Oh, what a fun way to start the day, Carl. What do you think, man?
You know, waking up is a good way to start the day.
True.
If
we're going to prioritize things. Yeah.
I put that pretty high on my list, you know.
Sure.
If I wake up, I go, yes, you know.
Off to a good start.
We have a win for the day. What's your win today? Yes.
I can open my eyes.
Yeah.
If you're getting value from this already, go ahead and tap that like button. It helps more loan officers find content that actually makes a difference. And hey, if staying ahead of the market and learning what's really working in our industry matters to you, hit that subscribe button and ring that bell so you don't miss another episode. We read every comment, so drop your thoughts down below. We'd love to hear from you and know what's working or what you'd like us to cover next. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you here next time. Oh, good stuff. Well, heck, man. Well, look, it's about time to dive in. Yesterday we were chatting, and we had talked about the matter of, you know, not overcoming the objection so much as overcoming the rejection. You know what I mean? Not the objection, but the rejection. So, and then you wanted to chat about that. Interestingly, in the green room this morning, Carl, Justine was talking about the 4, what is it called? The 4 what? Agreements? Is that what it is? Justine, what what Robin was talking about yesterday, and we'll just hang on to that. I know a lot of people probably already looked that up, but I think it's going to fall right in line with what you might be talking about this
I've
morning.
been thinking about this rejection, because
Yeah,
it's one thing like, hey, here's the rebuttals, right? Which are really
yeah,
important,
Oh yeah.
right? Because when we know the rebuttals, to me, I always I get this vision like when I'm doing a sales presentation. I got this envision that I've got all these keys around my neck. It's literally a visual image that I get. And it gives me confidence when I do it. So whether I'm at a Starbucks with an individual person or in front of 1,000 people, right? I got these like 50 chains around, or wrong word, 50 necklaces around my neck, and each one has a key. And then when Eddie Skinner says, "Well, what about this objection?" And I just look at that lock and I go, "Oh, that's key number 14." And I grab key number 14, I unlock that lock, and I walk right in the door. And so to me, like, I don't know, I just envision these door openings. I just have to have the right key. No big deal. The door's locked. No
mm,
big deal. I got the right key. So knowing the objections and the rebuttals, I guess, to the objection, I think is really important. But that's not the core of the problem.
mm.
That's not the core of the problem. Hang on just one second. That's not the problem. The problem is the recovery time. You don't have an objection. You don't have a rejection problem. You have a recovery problem. Cause let me pick somebody here. Like Miss Monica Ledbetter. So who do you think gets rejected most? Monica doing the volume that she does, or Sharon, I see Sharon Wolford, the volume that she does, or loan officer Larry that's doing, one or two loans a month. Who
Mm.
do you think gets the most rejection? So Monica closes a large amount of loans, very successful. Sharon, very successful. It's always Fred. How come it's always the girls, man? What's up with that? Like it's always the girls, right? Like, what's up with that? Um, so who do you think gets rejected more? Monica and Sharon or loan officer Larry closing one or two? Who gets rejected more?
Hmm.
Who? No,
Easily,
who?
yeah. Monica Sharon, yeah.
Monica Sharon. As nice as they are,
Hmm.
Monica gets more no's than most loan officers in the industry. Calls, and I see her shaking her head there because she closes more loans
Mm.
than most people in the industry, right? By far, she's in a very, very high percentage, as is Sharon Wolford, and any number. I could have picked any number of people that I'm looking here on the call. And so the issue isn't, well, gee, Monica, how do you not get rejected? Oh no, she gets rejected a lot, a whole lot. What sets Monica apart, what sets Sharon apart, and any number of you that are doing good volume, is the amount of recovery time from the time that we get rejected, we get the no, thank you. I already have a lender. We're going with the bank. Your rate's too high. Let me think about it. From the time that you hear that until the time you take the next action, that's the problem. That's the problem. And that's the problem that you got to solve is the recovery time. You're not going to solve how do I not get rejected? We've talked about this in the past. The only way to not ever get rejected is never make an offer. Make no offers,
Mm.
you get no rejections other than driving down the road and somebody pulls in front of you and gives you the Southern salute, as we call it, whatever. Like we all get rejected during our day. But in sales, we only get rejected when we make offers. And so the more offers you get, the more rejections you get. You're not going to eliminate that. In fact, I would encourage you literally to get more rejections because more rejections equals more closing. It's a mathematical formula. For me, it's 84% no, 16% yes, made me a decamillionaire, right?
Hmm.
So, so we have to work on our recovery time. Does that make sense? I mean, I was just thinking
Yeah.
about this and I was thinking, what's the core of the problem? Well, I can say, hey, don't let the rejection bother you. I can't tell you how to feel. I can't tell you how to feel, but I can tell you how to act. That I can help you with. I
Mm.
can't help you with how you
Mm.
feel, right? That's between you and your body chemistry and what's going on, right? But I can tell you how to act no matter how you feel. right? And so when I get rejected and I feel rejected, for me, it's I got a 3-step bounce back formula, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But for me, like what I would do if what I would do my action step of the day is when you get that first rejection, and the faster you make an offer, the faster you're going to get rejected. And rejection never feels good. You know, I hear some people say, and I get it, it's just another method. Celebrate the rejection. I have an issue with that. You know, if I call up my dear friend Chris Johnstone and said, "Hey man, I want to hang out this weekend." He goes, "Nah, I don't want to hang out with you." Yay, I got rejected. Like that doesn't work, right? For me, it doesn't work. I'm not going to celebrate the rejection. But what I do know, it's a numbers game, and that's going to happen 84% of the time. Like I get let off sometimes. They go, "Well, Carl, so I had this. I was talking to this one agent, and he said or she said," and I go, "Yeah, me too." What happened with the next one and the next one and the next one and the next? That's really the only answer. And so my action item for you would be that when you get that first rejection today, gosh, I got it in the kitchen. I've got this little timer, like a little kitchen timer, and I got it set for 1 minute. So when I get a no, I click the button. And before that thing buzzes or when it buzzes, I have to call my next person. Because what happens, I get rejected, and then I go, well, let me go check my email because I don't get rejected on checking my email. Well, let me go post a social media post of how awesome I am. As a general rule, I don't get rejected. When somebody rejects me on social media, I just block them, right? So just tear that page out of the newspaper. It's a lesson I learned long ago. I'm not going to sit there and rebuttal with somebody. You suck. No, I don't. Yeah, you do. No, I don't. Just tear them out of the book, and now it's gone. Right? That's just that simple. That's how you deal with that. So I get rejected. Well, let me go check my voicemail. Let me go check my text messages. Let me go work on that next campaign. And all these things are important things to do, but they don't take the place of prospecting time. Right. So what happens is when we get rejected, we start doing what I call Friday activity. Like Friday activity would be setting up my LOCRM. That's a Friday activity. Not that I don't work on it Monday to Thursday, of course. I just don't do the setting up of it. Well, let me go. You know, Carl's been talking about I need to write newsletters. Let me go work on that. It's a great activity, not during prospecting time. That's a Friday activity. It's a great Friday activity. It's a Friday activity though. It's not a prospecting time activity. And so we can't go run and hide in the cave. Even if what we're working on is a good thing to work on, it doesn't replace prospecting time. Just like I'm not going to prospect on my setting up my newsletter or getting ready for my realtor presentation. Instead of getting ready for my realtor presentation, I'm not going to be prospecting during time because that's my setting up my realtor presentation time, right? And so you can't go hide in the cave. And so during prospecting time, which is 2 hours a day, I'm prospecting, and when I get a no, I've got 1 minute before I make my next call.
Mm.
That's where I would start. And then I'd knock it down to 30 seconds. And then I'd knock it down to 15 seconds. And by that time, it's just as soon as I get rejected, I've got a list I'm calling on. I just call the next person.
Yep.
And it's just the issue is waiting 30 minutes because let me go do this for 30 minutes. Let me go do that for 30 minutes. Let me go hang out with Jen for 30 minutes because that's a warm and fuzzy place, right? I can go hang out with her and we're going to have fun conversations and I'll laugh a little bit and we'll talk a little bit about business. And I feel like I'm doing something productive, but I'm really not. And so I can't do that for 30 minutes. I just simply pick up the phone next. So I've got a little thing I call my 3-step bounce back. And my 3-step is like when I get rejected, which is often, right? In fact, I would go out on a limb, and it's likely I get rejected more than anybody else that's on this call today. Almost. Well, I take that back, and I'm not saying this to be funny. Probably between me and Chris Johnstone and maybe Kevin Gillespie, and maybe Kristen and Jen actually. So we get rejected far more than anybody else on the call. I would say almost certainly. And so the first thing I do, step one, is I label it. And I go, all right, just got rejected. I'm feeling it, and I got rejected. And I find that how do I say this? When I name it, I tame it. When I name it, I tame it. And so when I go, yep, got rejected on that call. Like I just called it out. That's it. That's step one. I just name it. Whoop, there it goes. There's my first rejection today. First of several, likely. The next thing I do is I think you have to do not just a mental reset. I actually think a physical reset comes first. And so I think, you just kind of sit up, put my shoulders back, take a deep breath, blow it out. And I do that twice. And I think, like what happens is I think your body leads your mind more than your mind leads your body. So your body leads your mind more than your mind leads your body. Anybody that ever has a, a, a midnight pizza calling you, understand that statement, right? So the body controls the mind first, I think, and then the mind controls the body. And so I think you have to reset your body because, like, if I get rejected and go, oh man, that sucked, and and I think part of what happens is when we hear somebody say, "Hey, your rate's too high. I already have a lender. We're going with the bank. I have an in-house loan officer." I think what we hear is, "You're no good. I don't like you. You suck. You're horrible. Your company's horrible. You don't know what you're doing." That's not what they're saying most of the time. Sometimes I get that, but most of the time that's not it. Most of the time they're saying, "Dude, I'm good. I already got a lender," and they are good, like whatever, right? And so it's separating ourselves. They're not saying no to me. They're saying no to my offer, right? So anyway, so name it, reset your body, and then I think the third part is make that next phone call like no later than 1 minute. Like give yourself a minute. And I really think that's just when people say, "Well, what's the secret sauce?" That's it. It's reset your recovery time. It's like a good boxer. Like I don't know, take I don't know whoever Muhammad. I don't even know who the boxers are these days, but Muhammad Ali or something like that. Look, Muhammad would get. I mean, God knows it. It probably played on him as later in his years. He got smacked around a lot, but he had a very fast recovery. Or you take the quarterback on the football team. Dude gets hit 50 times during the game. Even when he releases the ball, they still smack him a lot of times. But he gets back up, he gets back in the huddle, shakes it off, and there's another play. In his case, what is it, 20 seconds later?
Yeah.
Something like that. It's got another play. And so you just have to have that fast recovery. So anyway, Chauncey, what do you think, man?
I agree. I agree with you 1000%. Something that helps me is that today in social media, now we can hide behind the screen, right? Is what
Yeah.
people would say. So what I do, and this may sound funny to some people, is I think back when I was younger. So when I used to go out or I see a girl I like, I used to have a pen, a paper, or I probably write the phone number in my hand. But what it does is that you have to have your game plan, which is get your list, right? Your
Hmm.
focus 40, whatever it may be. And when you approach that girl, you have to do what? You have to present yourself, right?
Mm.
And sometimes they're going to say no. But what do? You do go back in the corner and cry? No, I may laugh with my boys and go get another one, right? So I just look at it as a game to say, okay, it's a dating game, and I'm going to find the right one who likes me back, right? Because you want to find that right relationship with the realtor. So I just switch it that way and just say, hey, Chauncey, this is back 1983 when you were born. You got to go get that girl. Are you going to go get her? Or are you going to stay single? Go for it. So I just look at it from that aspect of it and I just move forward from there. I just make it fun.
Mm. Mm. How about Monica? Unmute yourself.
Good morning.
Yeah. So, I don't mean to, you didn't know I was going to do this. I don't mean to pin you out. I saw you sitting there and you're smiling, so that's why I was picking on you this morning. And I know you have great volume. First of all, am I correct that you get rejected a lot?
Yes, 100% correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
All
Over
right.
time, it's gotten easier to develop the coping mechanisms, and it's easier over time. You get a little bit of a thick skin, but sometimes it still does bother me once in a while. Yeah.
And what do you do? What do you do about that?
Well, I keep a folder in my email, and it's labeled good things. And so if I get a compliment from a realtor or a client, I save that email in that folder, and I go back if I'm having a down moment and I read through some of those, because those are honest, true, heartfelt. It emotionally and mentally takes me back to that good feeling. And that's the dopamine hit I need to get back on that next dial.
Mhm.
Right. Or I go walk outside. I, go to Target inside and get the Starbucks inside Target. And I'll just do a quick lap and I'll give 3 compliments to people. And then I'm out the door and I'm back at my desk. I've got a Target like 4 blocks from the office. Those are the things that I do to snap myself out of it. But you're 100% right. You got to get back on the horse and start making those calls right away. Otherwise, you can fall victim to not wanting to pick up the phone.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, and just be perfect clear, I don't want to pick up the phone. Right? I mean, like I literally don't.
Yeah.
I just know I do it anyway.
Absolutely.
Like hell, this morning I didn't feel like getting out of bed. Like literally, I've sat there and went, I just think I want to sleep this morning for a little bit, but it's like, but I get up anyway. And now I'm glad I did, of course, so, and I went on my bike ride. It felt good. So what do you think about all this, Manuel?
Hey, hi Carl, long time.
Good to see you, buddy.
You know what? I'm honestly here. I felt it. That real sting from that scenario I was talking about the other day with my good friend, math guy. So he told me no after he gave me a commitment, and he took a less, a higher rate. He didn't understand that it just wasn't going to work out in his favor, short term or long term. And that stung. That stung a lot. And I wanted to tell myself, I don't know, this is going to work. That's what I wanted to tell myself. Because this is my friend. This is one of my close friends. One of them. I tried to figure out every reason to not make, the next call. And I really don't know. I really don't know what it is that I looked through and I said, okay, I figure I did 1 or 2 things wrong. Okay, cool. But, I'm continuing to push and continuing to make calls. But I mean, that sting, it stung. It really, really, really stung, especially because I don't have those 32 leads yet in building. But yeah, I just wanted to say it stung. It stung a lot. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. It does sting. Just like Muhammad Ali getting punched in the face. I'm sure it stings. Or Tom Brady, getting popped, by a 300-pound linebacker. It's gotta hurt. You just get up and do it anyway. So looking good, man. Sitting there sporting the American flag, doing on a treadmill, got his dog tags on, sporting his guns, so good for you, man. Look good, Manuel. Awesome, buddy.
You're gonna do all right, Emmanuel. Don't even trip. Yeah.
We need to put his picture like on my stuff or something. That would be an awesome picture.
I know, yeah. Right on.
Sharon, help us out here.
Well, when you talk about stuff like this, it just reminds me that when I first started making calls, which is a very long time ago, we were doing everything face to face. And I was told that you got to get 8 no's to get a yes. So I kept up with everybody that I went and saw. I wasn't making really phone calls. We literally mailed letters to people to tell them we were going to come see them on a certain day. But I was going out to subdivisions and I just knocked on the door. And I remember walking into one subdivision that I was just bound and determined I was going to get this deal. And they kept telling me that, you have to work with the builders approved lenders and this is what we have to do. Well, I went up there one time and they told me no one more time. And I walked out. I remember walking down the steps thinking that was no number 8. You're going to say yes next time. And then that weekend they called me because they couldn't get their approved lender. And they asked me, could I come in right now and take an application? And because I showed up that day on that number 9, I got that subdivision and I got the next subdivision. And I think about that all the time. I was like, that was no number 8. You're going to say yes next time. And I just knew it. So I just kept up with them. 8 no's gives me a yes.
Which goes back to 16%, give or take. It never sees Jim and I, not Jim and I, Jim and I were talking about this on the Alliance that Jim and I have been in the mortgage business about the same amount of time, about 26, 27 years. I think it's got a couple years on me. And we've known of each other for a long time, but we've never worked together. And after 25 years, when we start comparing our 25-year notes, it's uncanny on how similar our numbers, our conversion rates, how many referrals we get per referral partner, the percentage of rejection versus no, how many leads do we need to get a closing, how many meetings do we have to do before we get a realtor to actually start referring to us. The numbers are so eerily similar. It just freaks me out a little bit sometimes. So, Kevin, you're the pro at this stuff, overcoming.
Hi, thanks for enjoying Loan Officer Breakfast Club here on YouTube. I just wanted to drop in and remind you that if you're a newer loan officer and you're trying to get to that 2 or 3 deals a month, or if you're seasoned and you're trying to get from 50 to 60 or 60 to 80, Mortgage Marketing Animals has you covered. We've got the full gambit from start to finish, top to bottom. Everything you need is at mortgagemarketinganimals.com. There's a reason that mortgagemarketinganimals.com is the #1 mortgage coaching platform in the country. So check it out, mortgagemarketinganimals.com.
I don't know. I'm in agreement with what you say. I was listening to CNBC this morning, and Kevin O'Leary, right, your buddy, he was on there, and he said, you really got to stay out of your comfort zone about 1/3 of your time to be successful. And it really rang true. But we got to remember, when it comes to rejection, our mind is not who we are. It's an echo of who we've been. And what you're talking about, I'd almost do those steps you talked about, Carl, a little bit in reverse, where you say you got to change the mind, right? Reshift it. Because the reason we feel rejected is because we've labeled it as rejection. And if you remove the label, right, it doesn't matter. So if I call Chris Johnstone and he says, hey man, I'd love to get together with you, but I can't, he's my buddy, I don't get upset. I don't feel rejected. I just know my friend is busy. But what we do is we label this other that they don't like me, but what they're really trying to do is survive in their own world when they reject you. But you got to remove that label, if that makes sense.
I hear you. Jim, take us home, buddy.
Well, one last quick thing. I took my grandson to school today, and he was being very frustrated. And I told him something my very first boss told me in the mortgage industry when I was getting rejected all the time. He said, remember this, some will, some won't, so what, next. And he just said, go find another deal. And rejection's tough, but you got to keep going.
Yeah. Chris Johnstone and I had a mutual, which is actually how we met, if I remember right. Chris Johnstone, is that how we met through our buddy in La Jolla? Is that how we met, Chris?
A
lot of things happened at one time.
Really, no.
Yeah, a lot of things happened at one time. But anyway, so Chris Johnstone and I belong to this mastermind membership, which I know I paid him well over $100,000, like well over. My suspicion is you're probably in that neighborhood too. And I tell you what, I really learned after spending probably a couple $100,000 by being coached by this guy. It really comes down to one simple lesson that he taught me: go get more.
Yeah.
Go get more. Anytime I call him up, complaining, crying, woe is me. What do I do now? What do I do? What do I do? But you don't understand. His first name is Frank. So you don't understand, Frank. And he goes, no, I understand. You just need to go get Mo. That's how he says, go get Mo. Go get Mo. And I tell you, the go get more really just about solves every problem in business anyway that I've ever had. I found it doesn't work so well in marriage, of course, but with business, yeah.
Hey, it's Walt. I'm in Albuquerque, and I manage a group. And I'm sorry to cut you off, but I manage my team, and one of the things I'm always telling them and telling myself is we think about whether we want it or not. So if we're making calls, that's good. But what do you expect? What do we expect when we make the calls? So it's very important for us to go into making calls, not with how I'm going to get over the objection, but with the expectation that good things are coming. Whether I talk to 20 people or 40 people, good things are coming. I deserve to have good things. I deserve to help people. So what we think about comes about, but what we think about with feeling comes about much faster whether it's good or bad. So I know we're over.
Well, you muted yourself by mistake there, Walt.
Somehow we got you muted.
Hey, thanks for joining in, Walt. By the way, Albuquerque,
Thank
one
you.
of my favorite, literally one of my favorite cities in the nation. I love Albuquerque. It's just absolutely stunningly beautiful. Actually, there's a road going from Albuquerque heading south to Sedona. I can't think of the name of it right now. Maybe Highway 17, maybe something like that. One of the prettiest roads in the nation. So it's absolutely stunning. So anyway, Frank, I don't know if that's what you were expecting today, but I think, we don't have a rejection problem. We have a recovery problem. And that's the main message that I wanted to give about is just speed up your recovery. You'll speed up your business. And that's
Wonderful.
you're not, for me, I'm not going to feel good about rejection. I'm just going to recover from it very, very quickly. Just like if somebody gives me a Southern salute on the highway, that honestly doesn't, when I was younger, that bothered me. I'll show him, kind of thing. And then when I grew up and went, hell, they don't know me, that, and I didn't do anything wrong and whatever, they're just having a bad day. And so I just recovered from it much faster. So the same thing in business, just, you don't have a rejection problem, you have a recovery problem. So anyway, however, when they want to learn the objections, Kristen, how can we help people do that?
I think we might be able to have a conversation with that.
Yeah, because knowing the keys, knowing what the keys are, like the key and lock thing that I mentioned, knowing what to say. When somebody says no, I don't just roll over and play dead. Like I give a rebuttal, and in a good percentage of time, the rebuttal works. And so, if you want to do some role playing on rebuttals, I know Kristen and Jen, that's what they do literally all day. What's the best way for them to reach out, Kristen?
Frank, what's the newest link that we're using?
DailySuccessPlan.com.
There we go.
DailySuccessPlan.com. So,
and I will say, every Monday at 2:00, Jen and Meg do a class, and it's called Dialed In with Jen and Meg. And what they do for an hour is dial in the scripting and dial in the objection handling, and members get on there and we talk through it. So it is a practice thing, right, Carl? I mean, we can't control what's going to come at us, but you can control your reaction to that and also your preparation. So everything we talk about here in the Mortgage Marketing Animals, everything we talk about in the Breakfast Club, we focus solely on what can we control, because there's so much that we can't.
Yeah,
indeed.
If you've never done a walkthrough, that'd be a really good idea. So DailySuccessPlan.com. So anyway, recovery issue.
There you go.
Good
Good
issue.
stuff, man. Thanks, Carl.
Anybody going to be here on Monday? Anybody, or Tuesday? Anybody coming in on Tuesday of this coming week? Adam, good to see you. Jim, yeah. Corey, awesome. Bill, Jennifer, awesome. Jimmy, good. Yeah, we're gonna have a good time. It's I was with Jim and I, or Jim and myself. Maybe that sounds better. Jim and myself. We're working on. It's really going to be some good content. So looking forward to seeing everybody. So Frank, you're missing out, man. Make sure you come to the October one. It's going to be real pretty. And dude, Frank, while you're here, I'm leaving straight from there, going up into the mountains of North Carolina. For a little motorcycle ride, and rumor has it I've got 2.
Wow, that might be something to do.
If you've never been in the mountains of North Carolina and Tennessee, in the Appalachian Mountains, in the
bike,
fall,
never, no,
brother, it's stunningly beautiful there.
That's what I hear.
Yeah. So
yeah,
let's do it.
Even better, I should ride the bike to Florida and then take
even better.
Bike. Yeah,
we've got that freedom, Frank. Why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
Hey, Carl, it's Dave Jones. How you doing?
Hey, Dave. Good to see you, buddy.
Hey, man. Just real quick, have you ever done Tail of the Dragon up there? It's up like by Tennessee, North Carolina area.
So the Tail of the Dragon it's the bottom of this hill. They advertise to have 311 turns, and I think it's like 9 miles. So it's world famous. At the bottom of it, Frank, there's this tree, and it's called the Tree of Shame. And if you Google Dragon's Tail Tree of Shame, you'll see it. And it's this tree at the bottom of this pretty impressive run. And it's got thousands of motorcycle parts thrown up in the limbs and the trees. Literally, there's casts, like they broke a bone, and when they had the cast off, they stuck up in the tree. There's crutches, there's front tires, there's back tires, there's handlebars. And so if you wreck your bike, you're supposed to go grab a piece of it and put it in the Tree of Shame. And and that's what he's talking about. So the Dragon's Tail, it's an impressive, sort of funny, sort of not.
Right. I'd like to do it.
Passage.
I'd love to do that. That'd be great. Well, we'll see. We'll try and work it out.
So, by the way, I have no pieces of any of my bikes on the tree of shame.
Good.
Just FYI. Good to see you, Dave.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get going, guys. Today is it's Wednesday. We didn't do flux capacitor. I can't believe I missed that.
Wow.
Well, next day the needle
on.
will. Next Wednesday the needle will have
me.
moved yet even more.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go.
It's past database day.
That's right. Past database day. You guys make them calls. You have a great day, man. Just recover, baby. Just recover and move on. Just go get Mo. That's all you got to do. Go get Mo. All right. You guys have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Adios.
Have a great day, everybody.